from Tora Kukri. This is my second reply to Matt Easton of Scholargladiatoria video about Gurkha Kukri. I now call him, my nickname for him is now Sneaky Matt for what he did to me. But he talks about Kukri being of a type in a particular area. Well, what evidence is there for that, Matt? Have you been around to all the different villages and towns and stuff like that that I have done? And I've by no means covered anywhere near the sort of villages and towns that people like Lieutenant Colonel J.P. Cross have and stuff like that when he's been researching for his books. But I've found that people tend to have a kukri made to the way they want to use a kukri. And in fact, in 2008, when I was talking to Major General, then Lieutenant Colonel Prem Singh Basnet, he said the same thing. He was then the curator of the National Army Museum. We sat down for an afternoon with each other and he showed me around the museum and stuff. And he was also of the opinion that people had kukri made to how they wanted to use it. So if you're a big chap, you might want a heavier one. If you weren't such a big chap, you might want a lighter one and stuff like that. And in fact, I mean, even in Gurkha, I found kukri that are very light, and then I found another kukri that's pretty heavy. So it varied to the individual's needs. There isn't any such thing as an area kukri. Now, having said that, this Saman kukri, which I talked about in the previous video, is very much along the lines of a Sirupate. It's not quite a Sirupate design, but near enough. But this is universal. You'll find this throughout Nepal. Excellent kukri, by the way. Love using it. It's very, very good. And the one thing I would say that traditional kukri have in common is they all have a decent carder. I mean, it's a nice long carder there. And this sort of traditional chapman. But that's about the only thing you can find in common. I found all sorts of kukri in the same area in Nepal. Now, the earliest picture of a Sirupate kukri is this one here. And that's of the 43rd Gurkhas, who later became the 2nd 8th Gurkha Rifles. And they're holding Sirupate kukri. So it obviously wasn't associated with the East, the Rai, Limbu, Sunwa and people like that. It was just, they considered it a useful kukri to have. Or it may be in that particular case that because the Sirupate is easier to make, that's what the battalion army made. And I think that's the reason why the Sirupate became popular after World War II, because it's an easier kukri to make. Best way to lose weight from kukri, take the belly away. Easier way to make the kukri, not so curved, make it straighter. So I'm sure that's how the myth of the Sirupate came about. Now, also, by the way, if you look at all the old pictures of the Rai, Limbu and Sunwa and those guys, they're not wearing Sirupate kukri. Not at all. No Eastern kukri to be seen inside. In fact, there's a cracking picture in 1926 of Rai boys. And guess what? They were wearing a broad kukri. The same for a shaman from that area. He's wearing a big, big broad kukri. Now, the perfect opportunity for the Rai and Limbu regiments to make a Sirupate for their Gurkhas, if the Sirupate was that important to them, was in World War I. The 2nd Battalion, 10th Gurkha Rifles, could not get kukri from anywhere because the demand was so high. In fact, the Gurkhas, just the Gurkhas alone, so forget the other regiments who were entitled to kukri, but the Gurkhas alone needed to get another 98,000 kukri for their Gurkhas. All right. So anyway, the 2nd 10th, they made their own kukri, and guess what design they came up with? It was this one. It's not a Sirupate. No. If that's what was so important to them, if that was their kukri, that's what they would have had made. But no, they went for this. It's a lovely, lovely design, and I've talked about this one a little bit before. It was picked up in the Battle of Gully Ravine, and the Gurkha that was killed was Dam Huda Limbu. Fantastic to have this kukri. But the 2nd 10th had a perfect opportunity to have Sirupate style cookery. And I think, Matt, that, I don't think you've ever been to Nepal, and you certainly haven't been to Nepal the amount of times I've been, and you certainly don't have the contacts over there that I have. And so before you make these claims, I really suggest you do much better research. You're doing yourself no favours by putting out these hypothetical ideas without having been to Nepal and without having properly studied cookery. You have a really nice collection. I've got to give you that. It's a top quality collection, but having a few cookery by no means makes you an expert. But a good try on your video for an amateur, but really you need to do more research. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and take care of yourselves. Thank you. I'd just like to point out that I talked about the Magar and the Gurung in the 43rd Gurkhas, who later became the 2nd 8th Gurkha Rifles. Now, the importance of that is that the Magar were western Nepal and the Gurung were generally central Nepal. So that was the importance of that particular point I made in the video. Thank you for watching, and once again, take care of yourselves, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation I did. Thank you.